Well, hello and welcome to the 9 p.m. news on Voice of the People TV. I am Vivian Oguche. Before we begin the news, kindly visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. But before we begin the news, before we take the headlines, let's take a quick show break.
Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chupuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
Well, you're welcome back. Before we begin the news, kindly visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. First, the headlines. Representatives, Binance chief trade words over $115 million bribe claim. NNPCL denies involvement in distribution of substandard petrol, says PMS sourced from Dangote. Tambuwal blasts APC, attributes PDP defections to stomach infrastructure. And students threatening to disrupt Nelfund meeting over exclusion. Thugs attack Shaware crew and injure journalists, destroy work tools. In business, Nigeria conducts first research evaluation in 40 years. And in sports news, a minister champions women empowerment at IBB Ladies Open. In entertainment news, Nigerian Dr. Laugh hits 15 hours in 50-hour stand-up comedy marathon. Now the news in detail. Binance top official Tigran Garbayan has insisted that 3 Nigerian lawmakers actually demanded a bribe of $150 million, as he earlier claimed. He added that his post on Friday was the truth. Garbayan had in a post on X named Philip Agbese, Ginger Anwusibe, and Peter Akpanke as members of the House of Representatives who demanded a bribe from him to forestall his arrest and prosecution over money laundering allegations. Both Agbese and Anwusibe dismissed the claims in separate statements, vowing to clear their names. However, Garbayan posted again on X on Saturday that what he shared was factual and based on his personal experience and conversations with those who have direct knowledge of the events discussed. He added that the information was shared with both Nigerian and United States law enforcement. Nevertheless, the House of Representatives has advised the public to be guided by verified information regarding the bribery allegation against 3 of its members before taking a position. In a statement on Saturday by its spokesman, Akin Rotimi, the House urged the public not to be swayed by what it called recycled claims targeted at Nigerian institutions and public servants. Now, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has denied claims that it sells substandard petrol with a high burn rate. In a statement on Saturday by its spokesperson Olufemi Shoneye, the NNPCL said it was reacting to a viral video claiming that its petrol does not last long in fuel tanks. While calling the content of the viral video fabricated, the company emphasized that its fuel is carefully formulated with one of the best compositions, ensuring optimal efficiency, durability, and environmental sustainability for consumers. He added that a significant percentage of the premium motor spirit sold at its stations in Lagos was sourced from the Dangote refinery. A video had surfaced online where a content creator claimed he bought a liter of Dangote petrol from MRS filling station in Alakbere area of Lagos State at 925 naira and the same liter at NNPC in Ojudu-Baja area of the state at the rate of 945 naira. According to him, he poured the fuel into separate power generators, and the one running on NNPC fuel stopped at 17 minutes, while the Dangote petrol lasted until 33 minutes. In a related development, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, says no system collapse has been recorded this year, but line tripping. The company said this in a statement on its X handle in Abuja today. It noted that on the 12th of February, when the Omotosho-Ikeja West 330 kilovolt transmission line tripped, the Benin-Egbin 330 kilovolt line was on a scheduled outage for mechanical line tracing. According to the TCN, the tripping resulted in a cascaded outage, causing loss of supply within Abuja, Lagos, and Osogbo axis, adding that other parts of the country are intact. Meanwhile, full restoration of bulk power supply to affected areas had since been completed. The company urged members of the public and reporters to shun malicious and unfounded information about the national grid that does not emanate from the Public Affairs Department of TCN. And now, former governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal, has expressed disappointment and concern at the recent defections of members of the People's Democratic Party to the ruling All Progressives Congress. Speaking to newsmen shortly after the Northwest Zonal meeting of the PDP earlier today, Tambuwal attributed the defections to stomach infrastructure, rather than the interests of the people. According to him, people leave parties for certain reasons or for different reasons. But he has been observing in the past defections not based on the interests of the people, but on stomach infrastructure. He added, if it is about defecting in the interests of the people, no politician will go to the APC in good conscience in the face of the current policies of the APC government and the current hardship and economic condition across the country. Well, still politics. The South-South Zonal Executive Committee of the People's Democratic Party has suspended for 1 month its Secretary, Felix Omemo, over alleged misconduct and unauthorized statement, which discredited the committee's Saturday's meeting in Benin, Edo State. Rivers Speaker Martin Amawule moved a motion for the suspension of Omemo, which was seconded by Godwin Ofiono, the member representing Ogoja Iyala constituency of Cross River State in the 10th National Assembly. Omemo, in a statement in Yenagua, Bayelsa State, claimed the meeting called by the National Vice Chairman, South-South Danobi, was illegal, stating that in line with PDP's constitution, the ZEC meeting could only be held with the approval of the Zonal Working Committee members. However, Amawule accused the suspended Zonal Secretary of misconduct, breach of trust, and fostering division among members. He said the suspension was due to Omemo's unauthorized statements in the media concerning the meeting of ZEC of PDP in the South-South Zone and his call on members not to attend. And now Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has been elected as a member of the steering committee of the Organization of African First Ladies for Development. Mrs. Tinubu was elected on Saturday at the 29th Ordinary General Assembly of the organization in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The First Lady of Sierra Leone, Mrs. Fatima Bill, was elected as the president of OAFLAD, while the First Lady of Angola, Mrs. Ana Lorenzo, was elected the vice president. Mrs. Tinubu joins the 8-member steering committee as one of the 2 members representing West Africa. Other member nations elected to the committee include Sierra Leone, whose First Lady is the new president of the organization, Angola, whose First Lady is the vice president, Malawi, Kenya, Ethiopia, Equatorial Guinea, and Congo. The election was conducted on the sidelines of the 38th Ordinary Session of the Assembly of the Heads of State and Government of the African Union, held from the 13th to 16th of February. Now, with the recent inauguration of the Southeast Development Commission at Abuja, all eyes are now on the Commission to chart a great course for jump-starting the socio-economic well-being of the geopolitical zone. The Managing Director of Southeast Development Commission, Mr. Mark Okoye, in his inaugural address said his target is to grow the economy of the region from the present $40 billion to $200 billion by 2035. VOP correspondent in the Southeast, Undu Okpaleze, has an aggregate opinion of what stakeholders in the region want to see happening soonest. We'll bring that report to you subsequently. We move on now with the bulletin. Now, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has identified technological adaptation and stronger economic regulation as factors that would ensure a safer Nigerian aviation industry. The minister, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Ibrahim Kana, spoke alongside the Director General of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Captain Chris Najomo, at the NCAA's 25th Anniversary Symposium in Abuja on Saturday. The minister acknowledged the successes recorded in the last 25 years and stated that sustaining the accomplishments requires a deliberate focus on safety planning, stakeholder collaboration, and adoption of innovative practices, focusing on training and retraining. On his part, the DGCA Captain Chris Najomo stressed the need for the NCAA to embrace new technologies, improved operational efficiencies, and foster partnerships that will elevate the aviation industry to even greater heights. And now, to strengthen its response to gender-based violence, the Nigeria Police Force has announced the establishment of GBV desk offices at all divisional headquarters nationwide. Previously limited to zonal and state commands, the expansion will ensure that cases of gender-based violence receive prompt and professional attention at the grassroots level. A statement on Saturday by the Force spokesman Muyiwa Adejobi said the initiative was approved by the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, to enhance service delivery and improve the force. The statement also said the newly designated GBV desk officers will also oversee the juvenile, women, and children's sections within their divisions. And as part of efforts to promote and strengthen Nigeria's capacity to manufacture vaccines, medicines, and other health products, the European Union delegation to Nigeria and the Economic Community of West African States have hosted members of the private sector in Lagos State. According to a statement released by the EU on Saturday, the meeting with the private sector also focused on increasing efforts to ensure Nigeria is well equipped to provide the necessary workforce for the health sector in the medium term. Head of Cooperation EU Delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Massimo De Luca, said the EU is forming sustainable partnerships to increase access to quality, safe, effective, and affordable health products. He added that the bloc will also provide direct grants, contribution agreements, and technical assistance in addressing matters related to the country's manufacturing space. Now, Chinese President Xi Jinping has sent a message of congratulations to the 38th African Union Summit, reaffirming the deepening ties between China and Africa. In his message today, Jinping underscored the rise of the Global South, particularly in the face of complex global challenges, with China and Africa playing a pivotal role in shaping the international order. According to reports, the Chinese president praised the African Union's leadership in advancing regional integration, overcoming obstacles, and elevating Africa's global influence as a unified voice of Africa. He highlighted the flourishing China-Africa relationships, noting the momentum created by the successful Beijing summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. Jinping noted that this marked a new era of partnership, with both sides committed to building an all-weather community with a shared future. Looking ahead, Jinping expressed determination to collaborate with African leaders on the ambitious modernization initiatives and partnerships action that will bring tangible benefits to over 2.8 billion people across China and Africa. Well, to education now, the leadership of the National Association of Nigerian Students has vowed to disrupt the scheduled board meeting of the Nigerian Education Loan over the alleged non-inclusion of students after repeated appeals for students' representation in the board meetings. The president of NANS, Lucky Emonefe, warned the Nelfund management that the scheduled board meeting on Monday will not be held. According to him, NANS would mobilize en masse to ensure that no meeting holds unless the students' representation is secured. The student body conveyed this in a letter addressed to the managing director of the Nelfund, Akintunde Sawyer, and copied to the chairman of Nelfund, Jim Ovia. And now the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress in the 2023 elections, Omoyele Sowore, was reportedly attacked on Saturday morning by suspected thugs at the Lagos City Marathon. Sowore was attacked by the thugs alongside crew members of his media outfit while participating in the marathon. The thugs also attacked some journalists covering the event, injured many of their victims, and destroyed their cameras and other gadgets. In a video seen by our correspondent, the thugs could be seen physically assaulting Sowore, his crew members, and the journalists. One of the thugs was seen grabbing the neck of a journalist who was holding his camera. Well, coming up next, business and sports stories. After this short break, stay with us.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. People's Voice, Mondays through Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count. Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
Welcome back. Now, business news. Nigeria just ended a 4-decade gap in evaluating its agricultural research system, marking a major step towards revitalizing research institutes and colleges of agriculture nationwide. The Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Abdullahi, disclosed this at a technical session of the report validation of the NADF baseline survey and needs assessment of agricultural research institutes and federal colleges of agriculture, which ended on Friday in Abuja. The minister commended the NADF for spearheading the project and further emphasized the need to upgrade research and training infrastructure across Nigeria. While still business, the Director General of the Raw Materials Research and Development Council, Professor Nyalugo Ike-Mononso, has emphasized that Nigeria's economic prosperity depends on the effective utilization of its vast human and material resources. He disclosed this in a statement on Saturday after a public lecture at the Enugu State University of Science and Technology. Speaking at the maiden public lecture themed Raw Materials, Education and Sustainable Development in Contemporary Nigeria, Ike-Mononso warned that Nigeria risks an economic recession if it fails to maximize the value of its abundant raw materials before export. The RMRDCDG emphasized the pivotal role of raw materials in national development, noting that they serve as fundamental inputs in production, influencing the quality of final products and have the potential to create new markets while improving trade balances. Well, let's move on to sports news now. The Minister of Women Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, has said that the federal government is committed to empowering women across all sectors in the country. Suleiman Ibrahim made the remarks at the tee-off ceremony of the 26th edition of the IBB Ladies Amateur Golf Open on Friday in Abuja. The tournament, themed the Abuja Experience, is attracting an unprecedented record of over 450 female golfers from hosts Nigeria and 5 other African nations, namely Rwanda, Uganda, Ghana, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. The minister expressed support for initiatives that promote women's participation and success in various fields, especially in sports. According to her, this is part of her mandate as a marching order from President Bola Tinubu that women should be supported across all sectors. She stressed the need to activate, cultivate, and support to build the potential of women across all sectors, adding that when women do things, they do it properly. Well, more sports news. In the Premiership, earlier in the afternoon, Omar Mamouche scored his first Manchester City goal with a first-half hat-trick to beat Newcastle 4-0 and fire Pep Guardiola's men back into the Premier League's top 4 on Saturday. The Egyptian was in scintillating form as City recovered from their late Champions League collapse to lose to Real Madrid 3-2 at home in midweek. The English champions have a mountain to climb when they visit Madrid on Wednesday if they are to reach the last 16 of Europe's elite competition for the 12th consecutive season. But Mamouche's explosion gives some cause for optimism as Newcastle were blown away inside the opening 33 minutes. The 26-year-old scored 20 goals for Eintracht Frankfurt this season before making a £59 million move to Manchester in January. Well, we'll switch to entertainment news now. Benue-born Nigerian comedian Dr. Laugh Albert is currently making history with his ambitious 50-hour stand-up comedy marathon. As of Saturday afternoon, the founder of Laugh International Entertainment Empire has reached 15 hours of his target, which he said placed him in 3rd position and was progressing steadily towards breaking a world record. The event, which began on February 14 in Lekki Phase 1, Lagos State, is Dr. Laugh's official attempt to break the Guinness World Record for the longest stand-up comedy show by an individual. Before the event kicked off on Friday, the comedian shared his excitement on Facebook, stating that they have arranged everything humanly possible and needed to make the event a success. Trusting the rest unto God, he added that a blast of a lifetime is in his vision. In a statement last Wednesday, Dr. Laugh noted that the show is not just a record-breaking attempt, but also a platform to raise funds for a project called Talent City Niger, aimed at creating a hub for young, talented creatives in Nigeria. The event continues till February 16. Well, we wish Dr. Laugh all the best. And that wraps it up for us on the news at 9. But before we go, a quick look at the headlines. We told you that representatives and Binance chief trade words over $150 million bribe claim. We also told you that NNPCL has denied involvement of distributing substandard petrol, and they are saying the PMS has been sourced from Dangote. Also, we brought you news that Tambuwal has blasted the APC, attributing PDP defections to stomach infrastructure. In education, students are threatening to disrupt Nelfund meeting over exclusion. We also told you that thugs attacked Showore and his crew, injuring journalists and destroying work tools. And in business, we told you that Nigeria has conducted first research evaluation in 40 years. And in sports news, we brought you reports that the minister is championing women empowerment at IBB Ladies Open. And finally, in entertainment news, we told you that Nigerian comedian Dr. Laugh hits 15 hours in 50-hour stand-up comedy marathon. Do also subscribe to our YouTube channel on YouTube. We are Voice of the People TV. And on other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. I am Vivian Uguche. Good evening.